Okay, you guys, so this last video is just going to be going over everything, the formulas and everything. I'm just seeing like what the question's asking for. The only thing that I am going to go over that's new is dosaging by kilograms, or by the patient's weight. So let's just go into it. I took these questions from the practice test that he gave us, so hopefully we get similar ones like that on the test. Okay. All right, so it's a 95 kilogram patient was admitted with septic shock for bradycardia, requiring the medication for hypotension. The order is to start at 12 micrograms per kilogram per minute. The pharmacy delivers the 450 milligrams and 250 ml of D5W. How many ml will the nurse administer? All right, so first off, we could see that we need to find out how many ml per hour are we going to give. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is see what the doctor ordered. He ordered 12 micrograms per kilogram per minute, and we're going to get the kilograms by the patient's weight, which is that. Next that we're going to do is we're going to see what's on hand. So the pharmacy delivered the 450 milligram and 250 mLs. Okay. All right, so the first thing that we have to do is calculate the actual order that the doctor gave. So he's giving the 12 micrograms per kilogram per minute. Okay, so he's doing that, and then we have the patient that weighs 95 kilograms. Only thing that this is saying is that per kilogram we have to give 12 micrograms. It's just like saying for each pound we have to give 12 micrograms. Okay, that's the only thing that it's saying. It's just different units of measures. So we're gonna go ahead and take our pencil, and we're gonna see that the patient weighs 95 kilograms. That's already perfect because we don't have to convert anything. It's already in kilograms. If it was in pounds, then we would divide by 2.2 to get the kilograms, but it's already in kilograms. Okay, so always make sure, because a lot of the times they'll ask for kilograms and then we'll automatically convert it again. So just make sure that it's in kilograms, it stays that way. If it's in pounds, then you go ahead and convert it. Okay, like those little things will trip you up, so just make sure that you're paying attention. Okay, so it's 95 kilograms, and we're to give 12 micrograms per each kilogram. Okay, so we're just multiplying. Let's see what that's going to give us. All right, so 95 times 12 equals 1,140 micrograms. And then don't forget, we have the per minute still. Okay, per minute. So that's what we're going to give the patient. Okay, so we're going to give 1,140 micrograms per minute. So once we get there, we have to see that the order is asking for hours, and we have micrograms, and the medication given is milligrams. So we cannot set up our formula, or the order into our formula, because none of this is matching. So we have to convert again. Like we have to keep going until it all matches. That way we could go ahead and just straight divide, multiply, whatever we need to do. Okay, so first thing I like to do is convert this into milligrams. I always say that I like to convert the doctor's order rather than converting the medication that's on hand, because then I feel like that kind of messes up somewhere down the line. So I like to convert whatever the doctor orders instead of what's on hand or what the pharmacy delivers. Okay, so we're gonna change micrograms into milligrams, that way it can match. So 1140 micrograms. We're at micrograms, so we're basically at the bottom. And remember, milligrams is the next step to the left. So we're gonna go over 3 times to the left. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So now it's 1.14. We get rid of the 0, and instead of micrograms, it's going to be milligrams. And you're going to have per minute. Okay, so that matches the medication. Now, the question is asking how many ml per hour will the nurse administer? So we cannot put minutes into hours. So the next thing that we're going to have to do is change this into minutes. So all we're going to do is take this and multiply it by 60, because there's 60 minutes in 1 hour, so we have to change it into hour. So anytime you're trying to like convert something into from minutes to hours, we're always just going to like multiply by 60. Okay, so 1.14 times 60 equals 68.4. Okay, so that's going to be what the doctor orders. 68.4 milligrams. Okay, and now what do we have on hand? We have what's on hand is what the pharmacy sent over. We have the 450 milligrams. What's our volume? The 250 ml. So right off the bat, you could see that this is going to be our formula. I'm just going to put random colors. Don't think it's color coded. So that's our formula, okay? So now we could go ahead and assemble this. Sorry. So what's the doctor ordered? 68.4 milligrams. What did the pharmacy send over? 450 milligrams. And what's our volume? 250 ml. And we're going to go ahead and solve that. So 68.4 divided by 450 equals 0.152, and we're going to multiply by the 250, and that's going to be 38. So this patient is going to get 38 mLs per hour. And that is your answer, okay? I know it's a lot, but you guys got this, okay? Just keep practicing. That's really all I could tell you. The way I do it in my head, I don't want to confuse you guys, but if you guys get it this way, you guys are more than likely to do it. So I'm just going to show you. I have my calculator, or you know what? Let me just split the screen real quick. Slide over calculator. Okay. So the patient weighs, this is how I do it in my head with the calculator, okay? It's not like it's right or wrong. This is just how I figured it out, how it's easier for me. I'll look at the question, read it, see what it's asking for, and then I'll go ahead and start, you know, wording it out. So the patient's 95 pounds or kilograms, and the order says 12 micrograms times 12 equals 1,140. Okay, and then that we know that we can't do that because it's asking for micrograms and the medication's in milligrams. So I would automatically go ahead and convert that into milligrams, so it's 1140. I just do it in my head, so it's 1.14. okay, and I know that that's that. It's asking for hours and we have minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and multiply that by 60. I'm gonna get 68.4. That's what the doctor is ordering. We just did that whole equation just so that we could get the actual dosage that the doctor's asking for. And then I'm going to go ahead and divide it by what's on hand, which is 450 milligrams. Going to divide it, and then that's going to equal 0.152, and then we're going to go ahead and multiply it by the 250 mLs, and that equals 38. All right, so this next one right here, I'm just going to go ahead and do it off the top of my head. I'm not going to actually do anything to it. All right, so it says nurse is preparing to administer heparin 15 units per kilogram per hour by continuous IV for a client who weighs 51 kilograms. Available is 25,000 units of heparin and 500 ml. The nurse should set the IV pump to deliver how many mLs per hour. And then it says round to the nearest tenth. Okay, whatever. All right, so I see that the patient weighs 51 kilograms. Let me just highlight this. That way you're not blinded by what I'm talking about. Okay, so the patient weighs 51 kilograms, 15 units per kilogram per hour. And then available is 25 units of heparin and 500 ml. And then that's already set, and it's asking for how many ml are we gonna give. All right, so first off, patient weighs 51 kilograms, and we're gonna multiply it by the 15 units that the doctor ordered. All right, it's already in hours, as you could see. It's already in hours, so we do not have to make that extra change of multiplying it by 60, because if it was in minutes, obviously, yeah, I would take this and then multiply it by 60 to convert it into hours, but it's already in hours, so we're just gonna leave it alone. All right, so the 765 is what the doctor ordered, okay, because I did the 15 units times the 51 kilograms. Okay, that's the doctor's orders. All right, now we're going to take what's available, what's on hand, what the pharmacy delivered, and it's the 25,000 units. Okay, all right, so we're going to go ahead and divide that, and that's going to equal that, and then we're going to go ahead and multiply it by the 500 ml. So that's our volume, and our total is going to be 15.3. So he's asking us to round to the nearest tenth. Obviously we could see like it's already 15.3 because it's already rounded. We don't have to do any further rounding, but for the most part, like I said, in IVs we have to round to the nearest whole number. So if it was how he's asking for it right here, nearest tenth, it'd be 15.3, but real life it'd be 15. So 15 ml per hour, or 15.3, because he's asking for that. All right, that's just how I put it in my head. I don't really have to do all the other extra steps, but that's just how I do it. It's just really taking the medication, multiplying it by the weight, making sure that it's hours. If it's hours, then you go ahead and know that you keep it the same. If it's asking for hours, if it's asking for minutes, multiply by the 60. If the medication is off, so it's like 12 micrograms and it's asking for milligrams, go ahead and change that. Never change. I always say never change the medication. Always change what the doctor ordered, because at the end of the day, like, the medication is still the medication. It doesn't change. Whatever the doctor orders, that could change in the form of just changing the units of measurement. All right, And then for heparin always comes in units, so as long as it's in units and it matches, that's totally fine. It's just like a different form of like measurement of units. What else? Yeah, heparin is kind of scary because it's always like in high dosages, but units is like really small. Yeah, so just make sure that you're seeing what it's asking for, and then seeing where it says where to round to, because it says the nearest 10th, but like I said, IVs is always whole number. So yeah, just keep practicing. You could try it the long way, how I just showed it for the first problem, or you could try it the faster way for the first problem. Whatever, you know, you get. But just make sure you guys are seeing what it's asking for. That's key. That's all that it's asking for. Make sure you like solve the problem, and that's it. There's nothing really more like to it. They try to scare you, but it's not that bad. All right, thank you.